I never believed in miracles. Or curses. Or anything in between. But the night my twins were born, all of that changed. It was a rainy Thursday evening in New Jersey, and I was 22, scared, and very much alone in a cold delivery room. My mom wasn't there. The father? Long gone. Just me, a team of strangers in scrubs, and pain that made me wonder if I'd survive the night. "Push, Alyssa, push," the nurse shouted, her gloved hands ready. Minutes later, a baby's cry pierced the air. Then, another. "They're twins," the doctor said, his voice flat with surprise. Twins. Nobody had told me I was carrying two. Maybe I'd been too scared to go to enough appointments, maybe I didn't want to face what was happening to me, but now there they were, two tiny lives screaming for me to be strong. They laid them on my chest. And I froze. Because these weren't just twins. They were identical. Not just in the way most twins look alike. No. It was like someone had copy-pasted the same baby twice. Same eyes, same birthmark above their right eyebrow, even the same tiny dimple in their chin. "They're exactly the same," the nurse whispered, staring like she'd just seen a ghost. I laughed nervously. "They're twins. That's kind of the point." But then she looked at me with a face I'll never forget. "No, honey. I've worked here 15 years. I've never seen twins this identical. Not like this." The first week home was chaos. Feeding two babies, changing diapers non-stop, living on microwave noodles and 3 hours of sleep. But even through the exhaustion, I couldn't shake what the nurse had said. The babies weren't just identical in looks. They moved the same way. Slept in the same positions. When one cried, the other cried, at the exact same pitch. When one smiled, the other did too, like a mirror. It was cute at first. Then, it wasn't. On the 10th night, I woke up to silence. Any mom of newborns knows that silence is scarier than crying. I ran to their crib. They were both awake. Not moving. Just staring at each other. I can't explain it, but the room felt wrong. Like I had walked in on a conversation that wasn't meant for me. Then, as if on cue, they both turned their heads, slowly, and looked straight at me. And smiled. The same eerie, knowing smile. I screamed so loud I woke the neighbor. My best friend Jen came over the next morning. She's one of those people who thinks everything can be explained with a podcast or a TikTok theory. "They're just babies," she said, cradling one. "You're sleep-deprived. Your brain's playing tricks." But as she rocked my son, the other baby, still in the crib, moved his arm at the exact same time. Then his leg. Then his head. "Okay, that's weird," Jen muttered. I nodded. "They do that all the time. Like, synchronized swimming." "Exactly." She placed the baby back in the crib. Both of them immediately turned their heads toward each other, eyes locked like they were communicating in a language older than words. Jen whispered, "Alyssa, what if they can, feel each other?" I wanted to laugh it off. But my gut told me she wasn't wrong. Things only got stranger. One afternoon, I cut my finger while chopping vegetables. I screamed, dropping the knife. Seconds later, one of the twins, Liam, let out a blood-curdling cry. His brother, Noah, started screaming too. When I checked Liam's hand, I swear to God, there was a tiny red mark in the same spot I'd cut myself. I didn't sleep that night. The next day, I called the hospital. "I need to speak to Dr. Khan," I said. When he finally got on the line, I poured everything out, the synchronized movements, the crying, the cut. There was a pause. "Ms. Carter," he said carefully. "I'd like you to bring the babies in. For observation." When I asked why, he hesitated. "It's unusual." But I've read about cases like this. It's called mirror link phenomena. Rare. Very rare. He said it like he didn't even believe his own words. We stayed at the hospital for 3 days. The staff ran tests, monitored the babies, asked me questions I couldn't answer. On the last night, I overheard 2 nurses whispering in the hall. "Did you see the scans?" one said. "It's like their neural patterns are." "Don't say it out loud," the other cut in. When I finally brought them home, I stared at my boys, sleeping peacefully in their crib. Were they just twins? Or something more? I thought about all the times I'd heard old women talk about soul bonds, about connections that go deeper than blood. Maybe they weren't 2 separate people. Maybe they were one soul, split in half. It's been 3 months now. I don't flinch anymore when they stare at each other like they're sharing secrets. I don't panic when they laugh in their sleep at the exact same moment. I just hold them. Because whatever they are, miracle, mystery, or curse, they're mine. And I'll protect them. Even from the truth.